was so hard, especially since she liked to be a straight shooter. This wasn't the way she preferred to live her life. Of course. He raised his chin and threw his shoulders back. Flattery could be infinitely useful. Great. Cassidy stepped away but paused. By the way, where did you guys take the boat? It's behind the station right now. The Coast Guard is coming to inspect it later. Either today or tomorrow. I see. How exciting. She just couldn't bring herself to leave. Not until she knew this evidence wasn't good. She'd even take moderately dependable hands. By the way, there were some names on those papers. Names? He shuffled the papers until he found them. My guess is that these are some contacts these refugees had so they could get fake passports and things. We'll double-check. At least it was something. Maybe that was all she could ask for. Ty stared at Renee as she bustled around the room, arranging the flowers she'd brought and opening the curtains. She looked so much the same. Still perky, still blonde, still the essence of fun and lightheartedness. Yet there was something missing. What was it? Depth? Stick-to-itiveness? Integrity? Ty wasn't sure, and he might not figure it out until these pain meds wore off some. They'd left him feeling loopy, not to mention the fact that his shoulder was sore, and he didn't want to be here. There. Isn't it so much homier now? Renee turned toward Ty and smiled sweetly. He wished he could return the action, but he couldn't pretend that the past several years hadn't happened. That Renee hadn't broken his heart and left him when he needed someone the most. He rubbed his temple, his head pounding. Renee, what are you doing here? Ty hadn't talked to her in forever. She hadn't been interested in talking or explaining or even trying to work things out. And now she showed up and acted as if nothing had happened. That didn't settle right with him. She sat beside his bed and took his hand, a pleasant and maybe clueless smile on her face. I missed you, Ty. It took you 3 years to realize that? She let out a light-hearted sigh and stared into the distance. I know it might sound crazy, but I just had this realization. It literally struck me like a lightning bolt. I finally recognized what we had and how much I missed you. And I couldn't imagine my future without my Ty-Ty. He cringed at the pet name. He'd never liked it, but especially not now. What caused this realization? It wasn't that simple. It never was with Renee. At one time, Ty had wanted to believe whatever she told him. It was almost like the woman had cast a spell on him. And that was the most dangerous kind of infatuation, mostly because it wasn't grounded in reality or truth. But not anymore. He'd learned that lesson the hard way. It was really just an accumulation of things. She offered no more information, just a slight shrug. But Ty would bet her realization had something to do with another man and a freshly ended relationship. You left me, Renee, he reminded her, keeping his voice placid. He didn't want to stir up any emotions by getting irritated or angry or impatient. No, he'd remain even-keeled for as long as possible. All for the sake of civility. Turn the other cheek. He'd read it in his Bible a couple of days ago, along with other verses about forgiveness and living out love. Renee leaned closer and lowered her voice. And now, I want to make things right. A flash of irritation shot down his spine. She was greatly simplifying this situation. Sometimes you can't make things right. Sometimes you make choices and have to live with the consequences. Her bottom lip jutted out in a pout that would have, at one time, twisted his resolve and tugged at his heartstrings. Not anymore. What's life without second chances?